Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Digital Certificate Management with ServiceNow and Venafi. My name is Kajal and I'll be your host. I hope that you and your near ones are safe and doing well. Now, before we begin our session, I would like to inform you that if you have any questions, you can type them into the question panel at any time and we'll respond to you with the answers. We have with us today Vikas Kapoor and Jay Nair to take us through the intricacies of TLS certificate management and how our Insert app can help you manage digital certificates. Our speakers today are Vikas Kapoor and Jay Nair. Vikas leads the ServiceNow practice at Nous and has over 20 years of experience in developing, deploying, managing, and leading software and IT infrastructure projects and teams, wherein Jay heads the Agile, DevOps, and QA practices at Nous. In his career spanning over 25 years, he has advised, provided solutions to, and led product development and production support teams for clients ranging from the largest enterprises to startups across industries. Over to you, Vikas and Jay.
Thanks, Kajol. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our participants who have joined us for this session. We hope to make it very informative for you and productive as well. Nous has been hard at work for last few months to come up with a solution that had been a burning topic for our customers that we had been engaging with, where they have a problem of digital certificate management in the complex infrastructure environments, and they were looking for a solution from within the ServiceNow platform. So we have been working really hard with our partner Venafi in coming up with a solution that can serve those needs, and we are going to spend some time talking through that. The things that we are going to be covering today are the certificate management landscape, PKI business challenges that are out there in the business environment. We are going to get an idea about Venafi's solution and also understand what ServiceNow has to offer in digital certificate management. And finally, we are going to spend our time talking through the Insert application and the solution that we have created and get a demo of that as well. Before we jump in and get in the real meat, I want to take a few minutes to talk about Nous and give you guys an overview of what we do as a company. We have been in business for over 23 years, and we have been helping our global customers in different countries and continents through our different services, which are bucketed under Global Software Services, Testry, and vServe. Global Software Services are our core product engineering services that we provide to our customers, and also includes application development and maintenance services. Testry is one of our robust practices where we help our customers with the software testing and quality assurance services. vServe is our practice where we have ServiceNow and we have remote infrastructure managed services. And we have been working with a number of our global customers in providing managed service support through our vServe offerings. On ServiceNow front, Nous has become a very big partner with ServiceNow. We are right now as a sales partner, a technology partner, services and services provider partner at the partnership tier with ServiceNow. We have global team of ServiceNow professionals that is helping our customers with advisory, implementation, development, integration, QA, and support services. We also have ITIL certified process experts, and all our resources are certified sysadmins. We have done a number of implementations in different areas like IT service management, IT operations management, discovery, and CMDB. And we also have gained enough experience while working on this application to help our customers in integrating ServiceNow with any certificate authority and helping them manage certificate management lifecycle in a robust manner with any system that's available out there. We also are helping our customers by helping them develop applications on top of the platform. So that's another area of expertise that we offer. Now, with that, let's get right in the meat of things. Certificate management landscape, as you all would know, it has been a thing that infrastructure teams have been managing for last so many years. As the environments have become complicated, there are more things that have come in. We have more systems out there that need the certificates to be correctly deployed, getting a visibility of the certificates, and then being able to manage their life cycle. Big companies like LinkedIn and Microsoft and Equifax, they have been at it for so many years, but as you can see on the screen, even those companies are running into a challenge. They have had outages in the past, not too distant past, where they were forced to kind of report an outage and had some challenges with that. And to talk a bit more about those challenges and the certificate management problems, I would like to invite my colleague, Jay. Jay, if you can share some inputs on that.
Yeah, absolutely, Vikas. So if you are a business, any business that has an online presence, whether you are small, mid-size, or large, then properly managing your certificates and security keys is a matter of not just convenience for yourself and your customers. It's a matter of survival. It can be a matter of survival. So maybe the best way to take a look at that is to listen to this little video of Jeff Hudson, CEO of Venafi, speaking about the problem.
We know that TLS certificates actually enable and connect many of the sites and services and applications that we rely on today, that we visit every day. But we don't often think about how they empower and enable many of the security controls that we depend on in our environments. Controls like traffic inspection devices, or next-generation firewalls, or web application firewalls, or botnet detectors. All of these actually require an ability to decrypt and inspect TLS traffic. To do that, they require TLS certificates. In fact, when the Equifax breach happened in 2017, analysts were able to determine that what made the attack so successful and so long-lived was the expiration of a certificate on a traffic inspection device. That allowed the attackers to stay hidden in that infrastructure for 76 days. The traffic inspection device was effectively blind because the TLS certificate had expired. That then allowed the attackers to pivot to some 50 other databases and exfiltrate millions and millions of records. The House Committee on Oversight and Government and Reform, in their after action report, actually realized that this wasn't an isolated incident. In fact, at the time of that breach, over 320 certificates had been allowed to expire in that environment. 79 of these were for mission critical systems or domains. So what are the three things that Venafi recommends that you can do to make sure that you can detect threats in your environment, encrypted threats that are happening throughout your network? First thing is get visibility where all the certificates are issued and deployed across your environment. 95% of Global 5,000 customers don't know where all their certificates are deployed in their environments, which makes it difficult then to ensure that they're always operating. Second thing you can do is apply intelligence to the way that those certificates are created and configured. You can create a policy. In fact, you can use something like NIST Special Publication 1800-16, which is in final stages of approval right now, which gives you an excellent template for how to configure a policy that establishes appropriate configuration for TLS certificates in your environment. Third thing you can do is start automating some of the functions of your TLS certificates. Automate renewal of those certificates, particularly on those mission critical security controls. By automating the renewal of those, you can be certain that your security controls won't go blind and won't fail you in the event of an attack or a compromise in your environment.
Jed, this was really some informative stuff. Before we move forward, why don't you tell our participants a bit about Venafi, what it offers?
Absolutely, Vikas. So Venafi is the leading cybersecurity company in the world that provides trust protection for machine identities. So if you think about what you need to protect your digital assets that are exposed to the outside world, you're immediately thinking about PKI, public key infrastructure. And PKI uses a combination of public and private keys to keep your digital assets secure and thereby protect your customers from mischief. And so you can think about a digital certificate, for example, as a driver's license, if you will, for your servers and your applications and your web services and so on. Venafi offers a platform that helps you secure your digital certificates and also your security keys. And that includes SSL keys as well as SSH keys, which have increased privileges and are therefore even more risky if it's exposed to vulnerabilities. So that's what Venafi really provides, a platform to protect your encrypted assets. And the way they do it is through the three principles of visibility, intelligence, and automation that you just heard Jeff speak about. Now let's take a closer look at the Venafi platform itself. Here we are talking about the Venafi Trust Protection Platform, or TPP, and this is where all the magic happens. This is the application you use to protect your certificates and keys. It provides full automation of the life cycle of all your keys and certificates. TPP has three components. The first of these is Venafi Trust Authority, which is used to discover, monitor, and enforce policies for your certificates and keys. So policies are central to protecting your assets. Trust Authority allows you to manage your policies. The second component is Trust Force, which is used to automate the certificate issuance and renewal process. It is also used to remediate certificates if ever their security is compromised. And finally, the third component is TrustNet. TrustNet is used to manage certificate reputation. An example of that would be it allows you to whitelist valid certificates in your enterprise and to blacklist the ones that cannot be trusted. And those could be certificates that are invalid for one reason or the other. Maybe they've already expired. Maybe they have to be revoked because whatever assets they were associated with are no longer in use. So these are all certificates that can be exploited by somebody to attack your enterprise. So that's TrustNet. Together, Venafi Trust Authority, Trust Force, and TrustNet provides your enterprise with a full set of capabilities to protect your encrypted assets. So Vikas, let's talk a little bit about ServiceNow, because ServiceNow is for companies that use ServiceNow, that's where their IT services are managed end to end. And so you might think about the aspect of security. So what's the role of security of ServiceNow in all of this, in ensuring the security of the enterprise?
That's a good question, Jay. When it comes to ServiceNow as a platform, it's a SaaS-based platform, as I'm sure all of you would already know, but it is built with security all around it. It allows for encryption. It allows for keeping your data secure through the policies, through the groups and roles and user privileges, which can be tailored to an individual level. But when we look at the enterprises from a perspective of infrastructure and the devices that power the e-commerce sites or power the communications, certificates come in as a key component of that. And ServiceNow has a very important role to play in that. And for multiple reasons. For companies that are using ServiceNow, they are in the process or have already brought in all the devices, the key infrastructure devices that they want to track, monitor, and manage for any incidents and availability. They have already brought them in the repository, whether it's a CMDB or linking it up to CSDM. They already have that information stored in a single place. And they are already running into the help desk related triage procedures for managing those infrastructure devices. So any incidents that come in, they are the ones who are managing that. And along with that, they are the ones who are responsible for putting in the request for renewing the certificates or issuing new certificates, as may be the case. And depending on which organization you belong to, whether it's a CISO organization or a help desk or infrastructure team, depending on however the split is, ServiceNow is going to support each of those roles. Now, ServiceNow has multiple versions which are running at any given point of time. It supports up to 2 previous versions. Now, given that the latest version is Orlando, we'll come to Orlando in a bit. But if you are running on New York, then ServiceNow provides you the capabilities of CMDB. It provides you the capability to discover your assets, bring in the data in one single place, but it does not provide you out of the box some capabilities for creating the request for certificates or renewing that or creating the instance for that. But that thing has changed with Orlando coming into play. With Orlando, ServiceNow has some IT transformation workflows that have been put into place. And the first thing is discovery of TLS certificates. You can do that now, beginning Orlando. If you have certificates in your environment and you want to get those discovered and add them in the CMDB, that is something that's doable. You can do that by IP or port, URL, or by certificate authority. Then you can create digitalization of the workflows by having a standard catalog items for request fulfillment as well as renewal. There are service items that are going to be available for you if you're using Orlando. PKI team workplace, it provides the familiar ServiceNow dashboards and the reports that can be used for gaining insights and getting a visibility into the renewal pipeline. That is one of the key things that we need to be managing and ensuring we are ahead of the curve. Visibility into my certificates that are coming up for renewal. And in case there is an incident that has resulted in some sort of outage because of expired TLS certs, ServiceNow has provided kind of a streamlined mechanism in order to support that activity as well. So that's the Orlando version. Before Orlando, we didn't have a number of these well flushed out, but ServiceNow, as we know, it's a secure platform supporting all these different kind of complex mechanisms that come into play.
Excellent. So we talked about Venafi and we talked about ServiceNow. Plus, Nous, one of the integration services that Nous provides in the ServiceNow practice is to enable integration of ServiceNow with a host of applications, which may actually include certificate management solutions like Venafi. So that being the case, tell us a little bit about NCert itself. What is NCert and why do we really need NCert when all of this is already there?
That's again a good question, Jay. So I think it's 2 for 2 good questions there. Let's talk about NCert. NCert is a thing that we have been working on, as I mentioned in the beginning, for a while now to try and cut down some of the processes and some of the challenges our customers have been running into while managing the digital certificates. Jay had mentioned about Venafi, and I just talked about ServiceNow. Now let's look at what basically Insert does. It is an application that we had created and is available from Venafi Marketplace as well as ServiceNow Store. It is a mechanism that you can use to manage the machine identities. End-to-end digital lifecycle management is enabled through Insert, and you don't have to go to Venafi, and you can just do all your work from within ServiceNow. So what it's basically doing is all the ServiceNow customers that are either running on Madrid, New York, Orlando, or even in future versions with Paris down the line and beyond, if they are looking at connecting to different certificate authorities, they are looking at managing the lifecycle of their certificates, whether in production or in DevOps, all those activities can be managed using Insert. So Insert cuts down the need for users to go in and log in to different systems and do that same activity. That's basically what Insert is. The question comes in that why do I need Insert? Big thing is you have a familiar ServiceNow user interface. If you trust Venafi, the market leader in the solutions it provides, you don't have to go in and log into that system. We all know how tedious and unfriendly it is to open up multiple windows and work on them at any given point of time. If your admins are familiar with ServiceNow user interface, they can stick with that. The bigger thing is they don't need to know what are the policy changes that are coming in, what are the different practices that are associated with certificates. Venafi is providing all those capabilities through its platform, and Insert is interacting with Venafi system and getting you that same capability without leaving ServiceNow. That way you have a fast learning curve. You get the intuitive flows, the workflows that ServiceNow provides are available to you. You can manage your certificates end to end. You have reports and dashboards available within ServiceNow, and you are going to be doing a single sign-on, which basically means that you are going to be able to have the security configured in the right way for different roles and groups and the users that are trying to get on Insert and are trying to access the Venafi and ServiceNow systems. Insert enables 5 different workflows from the ServiceNow platform. First is a request, where a user can put in a request for getting a new certificate issued for the device. That is done by leveraging the integration framework and the APIs that Venafi provides. They can download the certificates that have been completed by Venafi Trust Authority. You can download that and then you can deploy it to your devices. You can renew your certificates from within the ServiceNow platform. You can revoke the certificates. That's again a thing that can be done from in a central manner. You can retire the certificates that are no longer valid. So all these 5 different workflows can be managed from within ServiceNow without going over to Venafi, making it kind of simple. Some of the capabilities that come in, we already talked a bit in earlier, but just to reiterate, this Insert application, if you are using Orlando version and you want to use the catalogs that ServiceNow has provided, you can continue to do that. Insert is going to be running behind the scene and is going to get plugged into ServiceNow catalogs, so that when you put in a request for renewing a certificate or requesting a new certificate, this is going to kick in and is going to work with Venafi system and make sure that end-to-end life cycles are managed that way. Dashboard and reports from ServiceNow are going to be available. We have nimble workflows that can be extended to make sure that it works for your environment. And we are basically extending the platform by giving you a certificate management mechanism without worrying about the different changes that keep coming in the industry. Best practices are going to be guaranteed at any given point. With that, I think, yeah, Jay, go on.
I was just making a comment, Vikas, that was a great overview, really explains why insert fills a really useful need in that whole ecosystem of ServiceNow and Venafi. I'm sure that our audience is really keen to actually take a look at the product itself. So maybe it's time to get on to the demo.
Yep, let's do that. And before we switch over and take a look at insert, I would rather take just a couple of minutes just looking at the TPP platform, and if you can provide some inputs from your side on this interface, I think that's going to be great, Jay.
Sure.
So I'll just log in.
That sounds great. All right, here we go. So what we see here is the page that comes up when you first log into Aperture, which is one of the user interfaces for Venafi. So in Aperture, apart from all of the summary information you see here on the screen, main part of the screen, you may have noticed that there is a set of folders on the left. So in Aperture, everything is organized into these folders. There is a folder for a main folder for your policies, and for each of those policies, everything that you can do around them, around the certificates, around your devices, and all of your administrative tasks are all organized within subfolders beneath the policy folder. So that includes information about the certificate authorities that you have integrated Venafi with, and that's from where you get all your certificates. It has a place, a subfolder where you can manage all of your devices and applications, the devices being the machines on which the certificates are installed, and the applications being various types of applications and services, both external and internal, that are hosted on those machines. And again, you might have certificates associated with your applications, specific applications as well. So, this is what you get, the full capability to manage the lifecycle of your certificates end to end using this user interface. But the catch here is that it's a very powerful system, and that automatically means that there's a lot to learn about this. So there are many screens, tabs, windows, and you have to learn to navigate through all of that. If you are a busy system admin who is already spending a lot of time on ServiceNow, then having to learn all of this, and even worse, having to then switch between these two very different applications has some overhead associated with it. And that's where insert comes in it. That one of the advantages of using insert is, like Vikas said, being able to do quite a lot of what you get here on your familiar ServiceNow interface. So Vikas, I'll hand it back over to you to take our audience through the insert application.
Sure, Jay, thanks. So let's take a look at insert, what it basically has to offer. So when I log in to insert, and insert, as I mentioned, is something that you can download from the store, whether it's ServiceNow store or it's Venafi marketplace. It's available from either of those places, or you can directly reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you with insert. It comes in with a scoped application, which gets configured in your environment. The menu options that you're seeing on the left they come in as a part and parcel of it. Admin section, as it indicates out here, it requires a lot of housekeeping as a one-time setup that needs to be done. It also comes in with over 10 plus scheduled jobs that are available. And some of them are turned on when deployed. Some of them are not automatically turned on, and you can turn them on. And we'll see how those kind of look. This is a one-time setup that happens where we bring in the data, we bring Venafi and ServiceNow data in sync, certificates, as well as the device information. We bring all of that in sync, and we set up the integration configurations for that with this application. Then the thing that comes in is the home page. That's the first page that's available to the admins, and we have few home pages that are provided as a part of the application, and we'll take a quick look at that. But let's start from the requesting process and how we go about requesting a certificate. So what we have out here, we are running this as a standalone app for this example purpose. And for those of you who are running on Madrid or New York, this is how it's more than likely going to be for you, because you may or may not have any task defined or may not have the catalog items for that. But if you do have a process already in place where you want to trigger a certificate request from those places, that's something we can surely support. Insert is scalable and flexible enough to be able to plug in to your network in your environment. But for this example purpose, we are going to go through the standalone application. So it's a simple process to put in a request for a new certificate. When we talk about the use case is nothing but set of folders which are available in Venafi system. When I click on that option, it brings up the folder access that I have on Venafi system. So this particular user has the access to all of these folders. For a certificate creation purpose, I am just going to do a public certificate. If you notice, it fills in a certificate folder in Venafi device and the policy folder that's applicable with that. And that makes it kind of simple, because we are not trying to remember what are the different latest and greatest policies that we need to comply with. All those details are being managed by Venafi, and we are just leveraging those capabilities from there. We are going to now define a common name. So maybe I just put in a common name. I have two options there. I can generate a CR, or I can ask the system to generate a CR for me. In this case, I'm asking the system to generate a CSR for me. And I'm just putting in, leaving the details there. I can change the country. I can change my organizational unit if I need to. And then the subject alternate name, all these options that are visible out here, those are optional things. If you don't have details that you want to put in, by all means, you can leave it empty. But if you want to put in some details, you can put in DNS and comma separated values, and you can put in as many of the values as you want. The application name is a standard thing that's available in ServiceNow. For those of you who are already doing service mapping or leaning in that direction, you can map your certificates with the devices and also link them with the application, so that when you do your mapping, it's going to give you a clear visibility as to what application it's kind of linked with. In this case, I'm just saying Oracle Accounts Payable. Automatic renewal, yes, I can choose no if I wish to, or I can go in for certificate validity by providing a specific end date if I like. Otherwise, I can just say use default validity period there. And with that, I am going to submit the certificate request. Once I do that submission, you'll notice there is a familiar process that's coming into place. There are different stages. And in this stage, the request has gone in for approval. So what I'll do is, in order to show that to you, I'm going to switch over to my phone and show you how I can easily work on such requests while I'm on a move. So let's give me a sec. I'm just going to switch over to my phone. What I have with me is the ServiceNow mobile application. And if we look at the application, there are different, I mean, these are all standard options that I'm sure we all are familiar with. The request that I had put in, if I look out here, I have a minute back, there is a request that had come in for approval to me. So if I am a manager on the move, having my dinner or working from my home, and I just want to be able to look at the request and take an action on that, that's something that I can do with my mobile device. Here I can look at the details that were put in for this particular request. And if I feel convinced, then I can just go in and click on approve. If I want to reject, I can reject as well. Or if I think there is a need for me to put in a comment, I can also do any of those activities, and back and forth on that approval request can be done through the update section. So I'm just going ahead and approving it so that we can move on to the next stage. So I've approved that request, and let's switch back to my system now. So let's look at now my active certificates, and we'll see if I go into my active certificates, that will give me the thing. So this was the certificate request that I had put in, and it's available for me to act on at this point. If I look at the details that were there, and we'll revisit that again. So this was a request I'd put in, and I'd said generate a CSR for me, key size and everything came in with that, and it was linked to Oracle accounts payable. So this is where we had submitted the request. So now let's look at the next step. So next step is for me to check that and click on add installation. When I do add installation, it's going to go in and connect with Venafi system and ask me that which device does this certificate need to be associated with. When I pull in a list, it's going to bring up a list of devices from a Venafi's system. And then I can click on add installation. So what this is doing is it's mapping the certificates to the device. And this process takes a few seconds to complete because it's going to now map the certificate to the device in Venafi system. And that data stays synced up with ServiceNow. While we're looking at that, on the left side, you'll see there are some other options that are also coming up out here. We have the approval request and also the requested items and dashboards that are available for the users to see. And that's something that, depending on your need, you can surely work on that. If you have any retired or revoked certificates that are also available out here, legacy certificates before NCERT was deployed, if there are any certificates which are sitting in your system, that's another thing you can see from the legacy certificate route. I can load or update additional certificates as well. So now the process of mapping is complete. The next step for that is for me to download the certificate. I can click on download certificate, and that's different formats that are available. For this walkthrough, I'm just doing a DER format, and I'm submitting the details. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring me the certificate and allow me to save it. So I click on download. I'm just trying to open it now. And as the message is coming in, it's available for you on your system where you can install it on your device manually. So the certificate gets downloaded and it's going to be available for you to work with this way. And if you want to do it again, you can surely download this certificate again. You can renew, you can retire, you can revoke by choosing which certificate you want to work with, and you can do all of those activities. And if you look at what we are also doing is when we do the installation, we have also gone in and done a mapping. So the assigned CI, assigned server. So if you are going to go into CMDB and look at your classes and find the device over there, the device is going to be there. And you can see the certificates that are going to be associated with that, and also look at the related record for your requests that have been raised for that. We also have the dashboards that are available. So we have 3 dashboards which are available. One is a requester dashboard, one is admin, and one is a manager dashboard. Admin is what you saw at the homepage. So that is something that's there, allows you to look at the certificates issued for the organization, certs that are due for renewal, expedition graph, expiring within 90 days, queued for renewal, revoked certificates, and a number of other good information pieces that are available. If I don't want to go with that and I want to look at a manager dashboard, those are other dashboards that are available. So some of the things that are there, my certificates, certificates of my reportees, and certificate count of my reportees, I can see all of those pieces. If not, then homepage gives you a really good view, and these are all configurable, so you can make changes as needed. All your certificate requests are coming in under requests. So if I look at the requests out here, so all your certificate requests are getting created out here. As I mentioned, there are a number of jobs that also are there, which come in with insert, at least 10. So there's one of the job that's not activated, but this is something that can be activated, where certificates that are expiring monthly, I can run that job, and that is going to end up creating the requests in the request queue. It does take a few minutes, but you will see all those pieces showing up out here once the job completes. So that's kind of in a nutshell, high level overview of what insert does. And with that, I'm going to swing back to a slide and hand it over to you, Kajol.
Thank you so much for that, Vikas and Jay. It was an insightful session and I really enjoyed it. I hope our audience also enjoyed it. Now we'll go ahead and take some time for questions now. One of the questions that has come up is what will happen if our teams add certificates to Venafi system for deployment? Will the information still sync up with ServiceNow?
Certainly, that's a very good question. Insert gives you full visibility into all of your certificates, irrespective of their origin and irrespective of when they were requested. So all of the certificates that you already have in Venafi and are being tracked there, all of the certificates that you have in ServiceNow, they can all be tracked through the insert user interface. And there is obviously a need to synchronize between ServiceNow and Venafi. And how we do that in insert is through the use of a job that we have written that can be run at a defined frequency. And so maybe you want to run it once a day, or maybe even more often. This job picks up all of the information about the certificates, whether they were created through insert or not, and adds them to the list. And so the answer to that question is yes. If someone adds a certificate directly through Venafi, you can still see information about that certificate through insert.
Okay, great. The another question that we have for today is, what do we need to do to use insert? Can we just download it and start using it? What ServiceNow modules do we need to have in place?
I'll take that one up, Kajol. So if if you are interested in using Insert, you can surely go to ServiceNow Store or Venafi Marketplace, and then get the application from there, or reach out to us directly, and we will work with you to help you download that. And there is initial housekeeping that needs to be done to configure it and make it work in your environment. So that's the piece where we can help you. But in terms of the modules that you need to be able to use the Insert application, the only thing that's needed is IT service management. If you have discovery, that's really good. Then you can use the Orlando capabilities where you can discover your certificates and update your repository, and then have the catalog items also there. If you don't have discovery and you're still looking at leveraging ServiceNow CMDB for managing all of that, Insert fits really well in that sort of landscape.
Okay. Another question that we have come across is, we already have some defined tasks for certificate request. Do we still need to use the request from shown during the demo, or can we use our service catalog to work with Insert?
I think that's a good question that's been asked. Now, Insert, as you might have heard me saying a few times, is versatile enough. If you have your tasks defined, this can be sitting in the backend and can still work by connecting with your tasks. Your tasks are what is going to trigger the activity, and Insert is going to kick in from behind and then talk to Venafi system and pull in all the relevant data, or push out all the data that needs to be pushed out to Venafi servers, and make sure that the two systems stay in sync.
Okay, great, thank you. Is a trial version of Insert available?
Yeah, Kajol, this Jay here. Yeah, absolutely. So what you get is the full version or the full capability of Insert. All you need to do is contact us. And in fact, I believe we have a slide coming up after this that has all the contact information. So just reach out to us. We love to take our customers through Insert. We can help you install Insert, set it up, and start using it before you take a decision to buy the product. So yes, it's very much available, and it's very easy to gain access to it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jay and Vikas, for that session. Okay, and at the moment, thank you for the questions, everyone. Due to the time constraint, we'll only be able to take these many questions. However, nothing to worry. We'll connect with you over an email to answer the remaining questions. If you have any more questions regarding digital certificate management or the Insert app, you can drop an email to us on the given address, and we'll get back to you. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. We appreciate you being here. Stay safe and stay healthy.